Alright, what's up, bros? Today, I'm going to rank mashup levels. If my voice sounds off, I have a cold. So, it's mostly going to be based off, obviously, like, the enjoyment, but we'll also be kind of looking at it, like, visually a little bit, you know, like, what gimmicks it brings to the table, like, each level. We'll probably be factoring the tokens and extras and stuff. Not that I meant the music and the extras and stuff. I only have this down to C tier because, I mean, I don't think any of them are D tier. So obviously, if I rank something in like B or C, I don't want it to come off as like, this is bad. Like, this is the best SpongeBob mod. This is the best Heavy Iron mod we have right now. Like, I really, really, really like the mod. So I don't want it to come off as if I don't. But yeah, I still want to rank these levels and stuff. And then I'll probably do the same for BFB Mix, like, later or tomorrow. But yeah, I guess we could just get right into it. Well, I am not using the tier list maker. I could have screenshotted every level, but then I need to put text on it, and like, I want you to be able to click on random parts of this video and see where I rank stuff, rather than needing to see seeing screenshots and being like, oh, which level is that again? So that's why we're doing this scuffed as fuck method. I also have gameplay to show whenever I'm talking about a level. So I think the first thing I'm gonna do, honestly, I think I'm just gonna immediately put Krusty Casino in C. In my opinion, it's my least favorite level in the game. And there's a few reasons for that. The thing is, right, I feel like a lot of the areas in this game are, you know, used to the fullest potential, or at least, like, realistically, were utilized quite well, like the areas and stuff and what you could do with them, given the limitations of Industrial Park, and considering you can't just spend, like, 5 months on one level, you know, you gotta get a whole mod to release. The thing is with Krusty Casino is that I feel like it utilizes its potential the least. It does the least with its concept. Like, some of these things are kind of unreasonable, but I'm just, you know, you go through. Hold on, I should get a thing up. Obviously, you go through a casino. But the problem is that, I think it's probably the most visually lacking, probably. Obviously, you got these bright colors that are meant to, like, represent, you know, they're meant to represent, like, bright colors at a casino. But because most of the colors are solid, it doesn't really, it comes off more like a bit of an acid trip. Also, yeah, these things will, like, incorrectly turn you sometimes, which is a bit annoying. I just, like, you just run through a casino, but, like, imagine, I'm just imagining some things, right? Like, imagine you have to do a pinball machine, a sponge ball. Like, that'd be fun. Like, that'd be very hard to implement, I reckon, but, like, that's what I was talking about with, like, maximizing the potential. Or there could have been, like, 2 doors, and then you had to, like, roll dice, and if you rolled a high enough number, you could go through the left door, but then if it was too low, you had to go through the right door. Maybe the right door is, like, harder and slower or something. That sucked for speedrunning, but for, like, actual, like, casual play, like, that'd be so awesome. Another thing as well is that like, the extras are pretty, harsh. Like, I did say extras would be a small factor, but I think this level might have, like, the worst extra placements in the game, because, like, I don't know what it is, but, like, you need, like, perfect jump spacing for this shit. Like, I don't know, it's just, like, really strict for some reason. And that's not the only one either, because it happens again at the end of the level right here. I don't know if that's how you're supposed to grab it. I think it is. I like the floating block quite a bit. Like, conceptually, it's very cool. But yeah, I'm just, again, like, there could have been, like, moving colors. There could have been, like, again, like, theoretically, some sort of pinball. Or, like, throwing dice. Maybe you even have to, like, maybe you could bet Manly's at, like, on a roulette table. Maybe you could bet Manly's, and then, obviously, you pick red or black, and then you can either increase or decrease your Manly's. Like, that could have been really interesting. So, yeah, it just utilizes, it just does the least with its concept, I suppose. But I think it's a completely fine level. But yeah, just kind of, like, lacking visually and gameplay-wise compared to some of the other levels in the game. And I think on that note, I'm gonna rank Stitch Swamp now, I think is probably also... Oh god, it's... There we go. I'd also put this in C, but I do think there is a notable difference between the two. So, the reason why I'm ranking Stitch so low is because for some reason, it's, like, so... Even, like, I've done it more times than most people would, just by how I've ran the game, and I still never know exactly where to go. It just has this, like, uncanny ability to be, like, weirdly forgettable. So, if I could just show you... Like, the render distance is very low because that's how it's meant to be. Which in itself is kind of fine. The problem is that then you're constantly wondering, especially on the first playthrough, like, where to go. And there's only one token in this level that isn't a pad challenge. Which in itself is fine, I suppose. But it also means that you're here for the least amount of time compared to every other driving level, which would make it harder to remember. And yeah, like, the pad challenge is here. I could easily see somebody just, like, missing this, you know? And as for the pad challenge levels themselves, they're completely fine, although this level is extremely laggy. You can't tell because it's... Let me... I don't know if it's showing up well, but it's very laggy. Because, basically, iPie, like, made these spheres in, I think, Blender or something, and, I think made the try count, like, way higher than it needed to be, or something like that. So... Yeah, just a very laggy level. I like the level, though. It's kind of cool. The pad challenges are obviously quite disconnected from the actual levels themselves. Which I don't really have a problem with, because, like, movies just like that in the first place. Yeah, it's just kind of... Is it really a movie if it doesn't have that? You know, just, like, that disconnection. But... Yeah, I feel like this token is very, like... A very whatever token. Like, it looks like it wasn't here originally and then was thrown in to reach 100. That probably sounds harsher than I mean for it to be, but yeah, like... That's just kind of like a... This level's, like, really long as well. I feel like the challenge could have ended there, if anything. It's just, like, it's just weird to have one of the longest pad challenges in the shortest driving level in the game. Hell, the shortest level in the game, if we're only talking end-level tokens, I guess with the exception of, like, Cheese Coast and, like, Stitch... not Stitch, Skull Stadium. But, yeah. And then there's this one. This one also has a lag problem, but it's not as bad. I actually quite like this level. I think it's really good. I guess that's the reason why it's, like, above Krusty Casino, is because, like... Well, it's Stitch Swamp's gimmick is cooler. Well, not in concept, but in execution it's cooler. And it has, like... This side token is one of my favorites in the game. So... You know, I'm a pretty big fan. I really like these rings and like these breakable, like, I don't even know what these are, but like you step on them and they break. Like, I really like that. Just a really cool thing. Like, look at the skybox and everything. Like, it's just really cool. I like it. Just a very, very good level. Although I guess that's a different. I mean, I guess this is technically a separate small criticism from like what we're actually doing. Some pad challenge levels, like, they host a level and then you go through it and then it takes you to like kind of like a different version of the level. I think it'd be cool if you could just do whichever one you wanted. Although maybe that would kind of defeat the point because usually the second one is like darker themed and harder. Though, if you don't, because, like, I don't know, I could see, because this is quite different from the first one. So I could just imagine somebody wanting to, play this and not the other one. But I guess that's a separate criticism in itself. Also, the extras, are pretty hard to find you because of the fog and because of the way that the driving levels are built. For them to be as good as they are, unfortunately, they have to be a render distance sacrifice. It's kind of hard to explain, but yeah, there's a render distance sacrifice. So yeah, it's just hard to see, like, the extras and stuff. One of them in particular is quite hard to find. So yeah, I do think there is a notable gap between Stitch Swamp and Krusty Casino, but I still think it should be C, because it's, like, for how cool the theme is, it's, you know, not long enough to be as memorable, and, like, it's just hard to know where you're going. And relative to the short length of the level itself, the pad challenges are quite long. Now, ranking them from here on out is going to be quite a challenge, but I think Deep Dark is just going to go in S. Deep Dark is really good. It uses my favorite track in the game. I don't know the name of most of them, but I know it's a Sonic Mania track. I liked it enough to use it in my PvZ video, so I'm quite a fan. It's pretty good. Let me get footage of Deep Dark. Wow, there's footage right here, actually. But yeah, I'm quite a fan of Deep Dark. It's using, like, this, low render distance gimmick again, but, like, in a platforming level, you're not going as fast. I feel like it's better used in a level like this. This is probably, like, the worst token in the level, and it's still completely fine. Yeah, the way the mashup is built is, like, it's very, like, point A to point B, and then there's usually, like, these little objectives that take, like, 30 seconds to do, and then you get a token. So it's kind of like how Movie branches its levels, and Vanilla is kind of like that, but yeah. I also like these moves, just kind of energized by these, like, I don't even know what they are, but, like, those electric things. And I like these platforms as well. Really having to think about, like, you know, like, can I stand here and keep bowling, or do I have to move, you know? It's, like, I really like that. Yeah, quite a fan, and then, the only issue, this will be fixed later on, I think, but these platforms are actually RNG because of a mistake in programming. Like, these platforms specifically, like, how they start as RNG, so you can get cucked there potentially. Not a big deal, you checkpointed pretty close. Yeah. There's an extra here that I forgot about in this playthrough. I think the extra's kind of neat. Like, you boop him and you get an extra. Although I feel like that one's really easy to... I think a lot of people will need a guide for that one. There is a text box around the corner that tells you to hit him. But I feel like that's quite easy to miss. Mr. Slithers, but yeah. Also, I don't know why this token is, like, so easy and fast. Like, look at this. I don't know why it's, like, crazy fast. Anyway, I like this token where you climb up the tower. Yeah, I thought there was an extra here for some reason, and I got lost, and I was really confused, but... Like, on its own, this level would probably be, like, A tier. But the thing that makes it S tier is the Krista boss fight, and this is not going to be a great showcase of it because it'll be a run. Well, you do like a little quiz thing. It's really cool. I really like that. And the questions are the same every time, so it's not like BS. And obviously, the more health you have, like the better. And then this is kind of like how BFB Mix does it, where it's like each hit represents like a level, like. So obviously here you got these platforms that are in like no cheese, well, Cheese Coast, and then you got these Deep Depression platforms, and then you got these Route 99, this Route 99 platform, and then you got Sands of Time, and then you got Jelly Factory and Pyramid Pipeline, and then you got Deadly Driving. Like, it's really cool. Although I'm gonna do a double hit here, so we're gonna miss the next one. Although there are slammers that you hit and then the platform spawns. And then this is like a Thundergate one. And is it Thundergate actually? Oh no, that's these little bumpers represent Acid Dead Yard, and then this represents well, throwing represents Shadow Shores, and this represents Metro, this button, these platforms do. I think I missed this, yeah. And then this represents Stitch and Deep Dark. Really fucking cool. I love the boss fight, it's excellent. The only thing is that after doing the quiz, you should just be able to re-warp here, and that will be in a future patch. But yeah. It's a hard level with kick-ass music, and fair difficulty and good length and everything, and the boss fight is genuinely fucking sick as fuck. No reason not to put an S tier, TBH. Alright, you have a hard time from here. I think, what should I rank next? I think Route 99 is really good. I'm trying to think of if it's A tier or S tier. I don't know. I'm trying to think of, like, what I should rank next. It'd be kind of hard to rank them from this point on. I think Skull is probably, like, A. Can I... Yeah, it's just kind of fucked. Alright, what if I, like... that looks almost even worse. Alright, anyway. Skull is pretty good. As a boss fight itself, it is, pretty enjoyable. SpongeBob just beats the shit out of him. And I really like look at the stadium, like the aesthetic and everything, like it's all really nice. And then you just kick his ass. He is basically just like a button, kind of, that you hit a bunch of times. It's not a super complicated boss, but it's just all cool. Like, the music is good, and, like, all the fucking... Again, like, the background is really good, and, like, even just, like, the arena is really cool. And I love that you can see Patrick in the distance, like, locked away. Like, that's just really neat. I really like that. Let's see, where is, Alright, here's more, Skull Stadium. Well, I'm skipping this part, but yeah, it's, like, pretty cool. And then I like this token, because it's got Sonic Adventure 2 music. That was embarrassing. Sonic Adventure 2 music. And I just like the area in general, but I'm gonna skip it all here. I would have used my actual playthrough for but in some of them I just didn't grab extras for a while, and like it got split into 2 parts, and you know, all that shit. So yeah, I've just but this area is also very cool. I like it, Brev. I really like these things that shoot you if you get in their range. And these spinny ball things, too. It's pretty neat. I will say, though, that there's two pad challenges here, and I feel like 2 is a little much, because that means there's four out-of-world challenges in general, which is a little excessive. Could also be argued that, like, you have to go... I think this is the extra that loses the most time in the entire game. You have to go really out of your way, although, because I did a trick, I was able to get around it. But yeah. This area is pretty cool. I like it quite a bit. Although I'm gonna skip part of it, but yeah. Pretty neat area, and I also quite like, the other one it takes you to. Again, usually has harder, darker themes. This has more, like, you know, timing platforms and stuff like that. I am, quite a fan. Yeah. So I guess the reason why it wouldn't be S is because the boss... I mean, it's the first boss of the game, but yeah, it's quite simple. And I think 2 pad challenges is a little excessive. But that's, like, pretty nip, and the 1 extra is, like, very out of the way. But don't get it twisted, this shit's bussin'. I feel like S would be fair, but I don't know. I'll see how I feel, I guess. I'd say deadly driving is, like... I think it's, like, high B, I would say. It's got creature music, which is pretty bussin'. But the reason I wouldn't rank it super high, well, it's kind of hard to explain, but, like... Some of these platforms don't play nice when you land on them. Like, you can land on it, and then you can just lose, like, all your speed. There is no... Yeah, I figured, yeah, there's no way I got that. Also, it could be hard to tell which way you're supposed to go sometimes. Like, from this camera angle, like, if I nitroed up here in the middle, it'd be very easy for me to fall into the pit, into a pit and die. And that happens multiple times. And then these keys can be pretty easy to miss, I feel like. Like, in my first playthrough, I grabbed, like, 1 or 2 of them, and I thought that they were scattered around the level, not, like, next to each other. Like, so you know... And then, if you go low enough on here, you can actually miss the trigger for the honking, although I've only had that happen once. And then there's an extra over here where it's like, you go this way. But I don't feel like there's really any indication that you're supposed to go this way to get the extra. Like, you could argue because it's a slower path, but, like, in this game you also sometimes get rewarded for taking shortcuts, same with vanilla, so I feel like it's kind of 50-50 on if someone's gonna, like, think to go this way to get an extra. Although you could just drive back if you think you missed something, to be fair. And then, if you're grabbing the extra at the same time as this token, 10 seconds is actually a little harsh for this. I feel like 12 probably would have been good. But yeah, that is all kind of nitpicky stuff, but... Yeah, just, like, getting fucked sometimes, or, like, not knowing where you're going, getting cucked on speed sometimes. Like, it's probably a bit harsh to put in B, but it's, like, at least for now, I want to put it at, like, the top of B. I think Cheese Coast is, like, B. So... It's hard to talk about Cheese Coast because it's mostly defined by the pad challenges. I like Cheese Coast, like, in its stuff, and I like the pad challenges too, but... Well, yeah, we'll get to that. But this is just how it is on the first trip. Like, very simple, and then we come back later in the run. I guess my thing is, like... backtracking in No Cheese is, like, a little unnecessary, you could argue. I mean, backtracking in itself isn't inherently bad, but there are people who think that. I think it depends on what the backtracking is and how much it halts progression. Which this game doesn't, but I feel like No Cheese, like, considering, I feel like it's just weird for No Cheese to have backtracking and Depression to, well, Cheese Coast, and Depression to not have backtracking. As a matter of fact, Sans doesn't have backtracking either. Skull does. But Jelly doesn't, and yeah, I don't think any of the Patrick stuff has, like, backtracking. There is actually not much backtracking in this game. So for backtracking as a concept to be introduced in the first level, as if it's to imply that there will be a lot of this when there's not. Like, I feel like... I don't know. To be fair, how else are you gonna get 6 tokens out of No Choose? But I think it could have just been a challenge you didn't have to... Because that's the other thing as well. In these 2 pad challenges that you're in, and the same with Skull, you don't need, like, okay, so for Skull you need Bowl for one of the pad challenges, and here you need Bash. In the pad challenges themselves, you don't need Bowl or Bash, you don't need them. Which is why I feel like it's strange to need a move to unlock these areas, and then you don't utilize the move. Which is why I feel like it could have just been its own side thing. Maybe a secret switch of some kind. But, yeah. Also, I quite like these enemies. They're pretty cool. Just have, like, a little radius thing around them. And this uses my second favorite music, which is some Sonic Heroes music, and it's pretty good. But the other reason as well is that I am ranking this in B. At least this one. The platforming is, like, very simple. And that makes sense for being in No Cheese, for Cheese Coast. But yeah, as you can see, yeah, I am walking, just doing a lot of walking at the moment. I like these, I like the jumping here, and I like these, background pieces as well. Like, this game has a pretty good amount of polish, like, it has a lot of, like, background stuff. Then a lot of, like, single-level mods just don't exist, or have only been existing kind of recently. You know, because people just focus on the levels themselves and how you traverse them, as opposed to, like, background scenery and stuff like that. I quite like this, level. Again, darker, harder version, and I like that it's Caveman, SpongeBob. I think that's pretty neat. And these guys have 3 eyes, just to indicate that they're harder than the other guys. These ones, so that's neat as well. I like that. And this one looks even cooler, like, aesthetically. Although it's really short for some reason, but that's, like, fine. But yeah. I guess those reasons why I'm putting it in B. I think Deep Depression... Yeah, I'm gonna put it in A. So... Deep Depression is really cool, like, aesthetically and stuff, like... Like, as you can see, well, yeah, this token's really basic, but yeah, this is like a dream level at the moment, which is why everything is so fucky. But yeah, and then you got all these cool moving floors, and then you got, like, cookie platforms and stuff, and then you got, and then you got, like, this, like, candy pot that's kind of cool. One of my favorite parts of the level, though, is actually... I also like the dripping chocolate as well. That's actually sick. This challenge is probably, casually, it's probably the best, pad challenge in the game. Look how fucking cool this is, dude. Like, look at the skybox and, like, bungee floating block kind of thing. And it's longer than, like, 5 seconds, unlike every other bungee challenge in vanilla movie. Like, this is just a really unique thing. Like, it's just so cool, conceptually. Unfortunately, for a run setting, it sucks. Like, too many cycles and stuff, but yeah, casually, it's fucking awesome. Also, none of the pad challenges have extras, just so you know. But yeah, I'm a big fan of that, and then I like these spinning platforms. I like that you can just clear everything in one go as well. Just like a lot of tokens you can just get on the way. I think I'm gonna put Route 99 in A tier as well. Except for Stitch Swamp, pretty much all of the driving levels have, like, A floor inherently because of how they're built. You can't warp to tasks after completing them, which I think is because of, like, issues. And another problem is that, sometimes it's not obvious when you're off the beaten path or not. Like, it's possible to miss a token, touch the end level token because you can't tell which one's which. And then you have to reload the level and go all the way back if you want to, you know. These levels are built so much better than in vanilla, it's not even funny, but it does have that disadvantage because, like, it's just not, like, obvious, I guess. Something like this, I mean, Route 99 doesn't really have that problem, really, but yeah. I really like these moving fast highways. It just gives off, like, you know, the idea that we're going incredibly fast. And the skybox is fucking cool. Yeah, really like this level. I guess it's just that it's, like, really... God, Jesus. It's really basic in terms of, like, what you drive. But it's still, like... For a first driving level, it's, like, an excellent start. You know what? I'll put in, actually, put in S tier. Alright, Sands of Time, probably, like... I'm gonna put in, like, high B. The thing is with Sands is that it's very complicated on the first trip. And people agree with me. Like, it's really hard to know where you're going and what you're doing. Additionally, I like the black and white. Like, it's cool. But I feel like while it does help us stand out and it's cool individually, I feel like on repeat, a black and white level isn't super interesting. Because then it's obviously, color-wise, it's obviously dull. And I think that affects it more negatively on replay. When you have these levels like Krusty Casino that are quite bright. Or even like Deep Depression or whatever. And then you have like, very black and white level. In terms of like aesthetic, I feel like this would work better like later in the game. Because, like, you know, like, Stitch and Deep Dark are, like, quite dark levels to represent the difficulty, I feel like. And Thunder Gate isn't exactly sunshine, either. So, other than difficulty, I feel like Sands could have gone, like, after Metro, honestly. But yeah, it's just that, like, the level's really complicated. The music is, like, very atmospheric, so I can't hear it properly, and it's, like, obviously visually uninteresting. Although the portals look fucking sick. Yeah. I also I like these, like, clocks and everything, like... Again, aesthetically, like, it's cool. It's just, again, like, the black and white just isn't great on replay, I feel like. And it's just a complicated level. If it were less complicated, I'd put in, like, low A. And then if I had more going on visually, I'd probably put in S. There's, like, a token in particular that's actually pretty complicated, but cheese it here, so not this one, but I cheese this too, but yeah. It's not the one I was talking about. This token, it's pretty cool, but complicated. But yeah, cool level for sure. I think I'll... Yeah, I think I'll rank, Pipeline now. Although, I don't know if it should be low A or high B. Because, like... Yeah, you know what? I feel like it should go in A. Aesthetically, it's very cool, and it has some cool gimmicks. I guess, like, there are a couple things of note that I'm not too fond of. This is, like, the world's easiest token. There's, like, 0 difficulty to it. I feel like it could have been placed somewhere else. I love this. This is fucking awesome. This camera perspective. Love that, and I really like these lasers. Yeah, just fucking cool. And then, like, you honk to move these, hourglasses. Quite a fan of that, too. So, yeah, it's, like, visually unique enough as well, although I do have one small thing, again, that we'll get to it. It's by, especially if you're on, like, a small TV or something, I feel like you might not immediately see this. And I feel like the lasers there can cuck you a bit, although, because you have 3 health is usually fine. I feel like this is also quite easy to miss. What I think should have been placed is maybe, maybe a big double arrow, like an arrow pointing this way, and then, like, an arrow pointing this way, maybe. But maybe, like... I don't know. Like, I don't know how you'd represent that this place has something to it. But also indicating that the right path is, like, the main path that you want to go. Again, that's the issue of, like, you could easily miss this and have to replay, like, half the level just to get back. But some sort of indicator here, like, pointing. Maybe it's supposed to be well hidden, but I just feel like this is too hidden for a pad challenge as opposed to, like, an extra or something, you know? And I like this level, by the way. It's actually a previous level that iPie already made, but just, like, ported it to Xbox. The checkpoints here are not generous, however. Watch now. I'm right back to the beginning. It needs a couple more checkpoints. So the only reason it's not an S, really, is because, like, this needs more checkpoints, and, it should just be a little more obvious, like, where to go sometimes. I really like, I like this level, though. Just, yeah, more checkpoints. And then there's a ring challenge thing. It's pretty neat. And then I like this level quite a lot. Again, that's why it'd be so cool if you could just pick which one you could go to. I don't know how that'd work. Maybe, like, some sort of custom menu, if that's even possible. I don't know. Or maybe it just, like, unlocks both tasks at once so that you can... You'd have to look at them. It'd be a bit jank, but you could, like, do that, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, very cool. I love, like, golf levels, like, with SpongeBob. Like, Mix has one, too. Just really cool. And then I guess the other thing would be, like... I think this path for the extra is, like, not obvious. And for some reason, the hitbox is quite small. As you see, I missed it, like, 500 times. Not a big deal, though. But yeah, very, very cool level for sure. Jelly? I feel like Jelly is probably going to be... I don't know where exactly. I guess my thing with Jelly is that, I don't know, it doesn't look bad, although it's hard to like, what is jelly about it, you know? I don't think there's any jellyfish in the level itself. Like, when I think of Jelly Factory, like, you know that SpongeBob episode where Mr. Krabs, like, captures all the jelly? Well, SpongeBob does, but then Mr. Krabs, like, basically enslaves them. I thought of it as, like, that. But this has nothing to do with jelly. You could argue that maybe these buildings host jelly inside, but there's no, like, actual indication of that. So what I think of it as instead is a conveyor belt level that has trampolines. Because that is mostly what it is. Also, there's a weirdly long stretch here without a token. And then this token's, like, weirdly easy. But yeah. Also, if it's not obvious, though, I do like every single one of these levels. I consider bad, like, D tier, and I don't even have a D tier, because none of them are bad. My least favorite is Krusty Casino, and I think it's a completely fine level. Like a 6 out of 10 level. And Stitch Swamp is like 7 out of 10, and then it just goes up from there. We're just doing it by like a weighting thing, but yeah. Also, I actually have like no memory on how to grab this token. I completely forgot, but yeah. But yeah, not a bad level at all. Just kind of like it is not what the name says it is, and it's one of the more basic when it comes to platforming and visuals, I suppose. Imagine like jellyfish trampolines like in Toss, or maybe like an actual big building with like jellyfish jaws that you have to break with Slam to free the jellyfish. You get a token with that, or maybe there's like a jellyfish boss at the end, or you know, things like that. So I feel like, yeah, just like Krusty Casino, it doesn't really utilize its potential too much. But what is here is still good, for sure. I think Metro is probably, like, low A. For a speedrun setting, it's a big pain in the ass, but in the actual, like, casual playthrough, like, it's fucking bussin' as fuck. Like, you go through all these slides, right? And, like, just look how cool everything looks. Like, the skybox looks really nice, the music here is good. Trampolines look cool. And it's got some wall jumping too, and yeah, just like, and it's got like floating objects, and it just looks nice. It looks nice, and the platforming is like decently difficult. There aren't actually that many enemies in the level, surprisingly. Also, this part's fucking cool. Watch this now. The only bad thing is that you have to like jump into it rather than just being able to fall into it, which is not like immediately obvious. But yeah, like this is cool. There's also an extra here, which I don't necessarily agree with, because, like, that's just, like, I feel like that's way too easy to miss, but I don't know. Maybe that's just me being a pissy bitch, I don't know. But yeah, very cool area, and then I really like this as well. I think iPie's imagination was just going off the charts in this level. Fucking purple foggers, purple SpongeBobs that you hit. It's almost like a little, like, mini-boss kind of thing, it's cool. And then you unlock Guitar. And then, like, you get to this area, which looks very different, but it's still, like, you can still tell that it's part of the same level. So gameplay-wise, is decently different, and it's pretty fun. Yeah, just really good all around, actually. I should probably put this in S, actually, because, like, what's actually... I guess... I don't like how long it takes for this. I feel like someone could easily, even without in a non-speedrunning setting, I feel like it'd be easy for somebody to... Also, this ring challenge is cool. It's the only proper ring challenge in the game. And it is arguably too easy, but I think it's cool. Honestly, this area is actually fucking sick. Hold on, let me put an S tier. Like, what's his issue? Like... You shouldn't have to jump into that one part, and it should just let you drop in. Okay? Yeah, that's basically it. The rest of it's fucking awesome. Let's see, what else now? Oh, oopsies. I think Mystic is probably S as well, although it might be high A. Let me just, like, look through. I think it's one of the coolest levels in the game, like, gimmick-wise and, like, aesthetically. I like these star platforms, and Bowler's actually utilized a decent amount. And I like these, like, little, like, I don't even, like, these platforms on, like, the train tracks, like, that's fucking cool. Right? And then, yeah, honestly, like, this level's just fucking cool. I think sometimes it's a bit lacking in enemies, but, like, it's just, you just don't care, because, like, it just looks so fucking cool. And the music is, like, perfectly fitting. It just sounds, like, mystical and fucking... I don't know how to describe it, other than, like, it just sounds like it belongs to a level that has... Mystic in the name. Wait, no, is this Mystic? Yeah, Mystic. I was mixing up with Crystal Canyon, but yeah, like, Mystic, like, it just sounds like it belongs in a level like this. Which is really fucking cool. I guess you could also argue, like, the extra, because, like, look how much time you have to realize there's an extra there. I feel like that could easily trip someone up. It's not a big deal because of warps. This is also sick. Unfortunately, it's fucked by movie jank. When you land back on the slide, if you're holding forward, it'll just cuck all of your speeds. You have to hold neutral. And a lot of people aren't going to know that. That is not iPie's fault, but that is just a unfortunate byproduct of having this utilizing this idea. This area, that was embarrassing. Yeah. It's, cool. A little bit of a maze, you know? And then, well, you're gonna see me cheese this, but, you know. This, like, a platform, like, this moves left to right, and then you have to time it with a trampoline. It's kind of cool. I like this part, too. I guess the only thing is that because of the... It's like... Oh, God, I forgot about this, yeah. It's not, like, immediately obvious, that you can, like, make it over, but I don't know how you'd fix that. I also really like the Frozen Patrick. Like, it was cool. But yeah. Pretty cool level. There's, like, basically nothing really wrong with it. I think it's pretty good, and so it's going in S tier. I think, Crystal's quite good, but I think it's held back a little bit. I think it's aesthetically one of the coolest levels in the game, but the problem... I think for how early it is in the game, it's like mid-game, it's like weirdly hard. Like harder than... It's like the hardest driving level in the game. Not just speedrunning-wise, but just like in general. Like... I feel like it's really easy to slip off and get hit by stuff and, you know, and miss tokens. This is probably, like, one of the easiest driving levels to, like, miss stuff in. And also the problem as well, the game never tells you that you can press Y in driving levels to reset the paddy wagon. There really needed to have been a text box or something. Because otherwise, like, how are you gonna know? Like, if you miss it, then you think you have to reload the entire level, so you just go, oh, I'll just grab it later. And then when later comes, you forget exactly where it was, so you might just get lost again, and then, you know. So, yeah. So I guess it's just weirdly hard for how late in it is, and the last extra is, like, quite well hidden, to be fair, but... Yeah. But, like, music-wise, like, concept-wise, and, like, visually, like, it's all great. It's all really, really, really good. And I really like the frostbite timer as well. I think it's cool. Oh, yeah, I forgot about this. If you approach this at a quirky angle, you can just get fucked. So I don't know how you'd fix that. I guess making it, like, less steep. I don't know. I also love this section because it leads into Volcanic Valley. Like, that's just fucking cool. Really good way of being able to lead one level into another. For the most part, the levels in this game don't obviously lead from one to the other, but sometimes they do. Like, at the end of, what's it called? What's the fucking... Dude, what is the name of the... Oh yeah, Sands. At the end of Sands, you can see a pyramid in the background, indicating they meant to go to the pyramid. Anyway, I'm gonna have a bit of a hard time ranking Volcanic. I'm thinking, like, high B or something. Actually, I think the issue with Volcanic is that, like, I don't know, it's like, it just takes a while to get anywhere because of, like, how open everything is, I guess. I think it would have been cool if there were shortcuts that you could take. Like, maybe not necessarily one this big, but you're not meant to take shortcuts. But I feel like it could have been cool to find secret paths that unlock shortcuts. Or maybe you could even, like, find a water power-up throughout the level, and then it makes you immune to the lava, like, when you're, like, 2/3 of the way through. Or maybe it's a temporary power-up. Mayhaps. But yeah, it's just, like, quite basic visually, I suppose, in the first half. I like this, little token. I love this gimmick. It could be a little jank at times, but that's not iPie's fault. This should just, like, movie stuff. But yeah, it can be a bit jank. That, I will say, though, if you jump the gun early on this, you'll basically always get hit by this. I feel like it should rise a tiny bit faster. But yeah, like, actually, yeah, I should not rank it as low B, because, like, this gimmick is just fucking awesome. And I really like the pad challenge in this level as well. Yeah, no, I'm gonna rank it higher. Let me just, like, let's have a look through it first, though. Really cool token idea there. I think this extra is, cool, although very easy to miss. But yeah. This has a really cool pad challenge, which you'll see right now. You have, like, cruise boost speed. I don't know, it might be a little faster, but you have, like, cruise boost speeds, and you just go and... It's quite simple, but I really like it. It's just a neat idea. Really cool gimmick. I feel like it could have been used more, but oh well. Like, it's cool where it is. Oh god, I don't remember dying there, but apparently I did. One thing I fucking love, by the way, if you ignore this token, you could still go into the volcano. Like, there are 2 ways to enter the volcano. I really, really like that. I like that it doesn't teleport you back to the other trampoline, or this trampoline takes you back. I like that they both are scripted to take you to the volcano. That is genuinely so cool. My only thing... They both take you to the same part. I think it would have been cool for it to, for this path to take you a little further in. Just a little bit. So that the token is effectively, like, it's not a shortcut, but your reward for doing the side task is then a shortcut, if that makes sense. I just think that'd be cool. You know, just a little further in, like, maybe, like, here, maybe? I don't know. I think that could have been neat. I'll have to edit that out. Well, I have to do editing. That's great. because I accidentally showed the internet network, like a boss. Maybe I should edit more of this then than normal, but then I have to have higher standards. Okay, well, the internet's been bad, but... For now, I'm gonna rank this, like... Yeah, I feel like that's fair. So all we have left now is Acid, Shadow, and Thunder. Alright, I'm back. It seems to be working now, so yeah. Deadly Driving, not Deadly Driving, Acid Dead Yard is a hard one, because, like, it looks cool, and it has a really cool gimmick. But I think this driving level has it the worst when it comes to not knowing where you're supposed to go. I think partly because everything's so out in the open, so there's no, like, visual indicators. Additionally, there are, like, a couple corners that you can bonk on, that where it's, like, not obvious, so you could bonk on them. Also, there are 6 tokens in this level. Not counting pad challenges, this is the only driving level to have 6 tokens, and I feel like you can kind of feel it. Because, like, what is this token doing here? It's like... You know? Like, I think this could have pretty easily have been a 4-token level. I like this gimmick, by the way, but this should have been placed further back, because otherwise there's a good chance you get bonk here. There has to be cardboard thing, well, I say cardboard cutouts, but obviously, you know, it's in-game. The paddy wagon can't interact with, like, actual enemies, so, yeah. There is a bug here. If, from here, you grab this extra and then go this way, you'll never pick up the extra, you'll soft-log yourself. It's apparently because of how the game handles, like, how the engine handles, like, pickups. But yeah, that is something of note, in my opinion. Yeah, I think visually it looks very cool. And it's got some decent difficulty to it, too. Although these, yeah, I don't think, well, I feel like, yeah, that one token was very, like, I feel like the rest of them are fine, but yeah, just kind of like... And the gimmick is cool. It only comes up in this level, but I like it. So I feel like it's probably gonna go in, like, low... hold on. I'll put it, like... here, maybe? I'm a little conflicted on... some of the... like, mostly sand, like, where sand should go. I'm still conflicted on if it should be B or A. And Acid, I'm wondering if it should be at the top of B or not. Anyway, we got 2 more levels yet left, and they're also hard to talk about. Shadow is a very weird one, especially because this is not a good showcase. But there's a lot of throw uses here. Use the throw move, like, a lot. And he uses out of bounds sand, and there's this, and then, I like this, where it's like you hide, like, conceptually, this level is really fucking good. Visually, it's one of the most basic, because everything's so out in the open. Also, I will say, around here, there's not just out of it, like, you can actually get instantly grabbed by Hans here, which I don't really understand. I think it's to prevent you from being able to cheese, like, going this way, but you can cheese so much of this anyway, that having immediate Hans triggers here, rather than the out-of-bounds sand, is very unnecessary, and is more, like, annoying, if anything. But yeah, then we have this part. It's pretty cool. Although, if you go on the lower part of the trampoline, you can actually get cucked here, and I assume that was unintentional. If the trampoline was a bit further away, it could have prevented that, potentially. This part's pretty cool, hidden the keys. I kind of like this one, too. This is like a backwards ring challenge kind of thing. It's kind of neat. Yeah, I like these platforms as well. Like these, yeah, like that hurt you. If you jump here too early, you can get height cucked. So you gotta be a bit careful. For most casual players, that won't really be an issue. Yeah, this token's good too. This challenge is actually, like... The pad challenges never have anything to do with the actual levels. This one is the closest to the actual level. Because there are, like, dark blocks, which could be seen as, like, shadows, kind of. But yeah, the gimmick here is really, really interesting. You sometimes can't tell where the black block is until until a white block is, like, near it or goes past it briefly or whatever. Like, you can see there, like... I can't actually tell where it is. So I can either base it off of, like, blocks slightly further ahead that are, like, visible. Or you have to, like, wait for these, things. This is one of my favorite pad challenges in the game. Conceptually, it's really cool. This extra fucking blows, but only because of Mag. Yeah, that's why it blows, if you try to do a Meg. And then, yeah. Pretty cool, but yeah, just lacking visually a bit, and, like... It has so much throwing that it's, like, its entire personality. Whereas, like... Mystic doesn't have too much bowling. You know, it has a fair bit, but not, like, too much. Whereas, like, Shadow is, like, obsessed with it. So I think I'd put it, like... Maybe here? And then lastly, we have Thunder Gate, which I'm probably going to put in, like, low A tier. Because... it's pretty cool. I really like it conceptually, like all these ghosts and stuff. And then, like, these invisible platforms are pretty cool. But, like, there's manleys and stuff to, like, guide you. Oh, and then I take a detour, so we're gonna... Hold on. I should take a pretty damn long detour from the level in this category. Wow, a very long detour, actually. Jesus Christ. These barrels are cool, but I will bitch about them in a second. I believe in the patch notes, the next thing's gonna be, like, one of the next things gonna be, I really like this, by the way. Because, like, this is fair because you just jump. Like, you need to jump to dodge this anyway. So you, without even having to, like, you don't even have to stand still and be like, oh, fuck, where am I? You can, like, literally just keep going because this will be a constant, like, that. I really like that. And I like this too. This is the issue. If you press A, like, too fast here, then you'll just get fucked and get checkpointed quite far back. And then with this one, if you shoot, like, here too early, so you have to wait until it's, like, all the way down, that's gotta be fixed, because, like, they're both, like, pretty cheap deaths. I really like these, platforms. And then I like having to help Jeff the fucking ghost here. I have these green spinners. The level aesthetically looks very cool, and I like this gimmick too. But I like it doesn't define the entire level. I like that it's only here for like half of it. Like, that's pretty neat. I like that. This token is a bit of a bitch to do on the cycle, but not the end of the world. It's just, like, surprisingly unforgiving compared to what I'd probably expect. Yeah. This boss fight is kind of cool. I feel like it goes on for a little too long. You just go around, and it gets hotter and hotter, more like electric thingies. But I think, if you maybe made it, like, 2 hits faster, and then just increase the difficulty more per hit, like, I feel like that could have, like, compensated. But yeah, like, there's nothing, like, it's just, like, the barrels, basically. Everything else is really good. So, that is the list. I mean, let's just take a second look. Deep Dark for its just, you know, really good difficulty and really cool gimmicks and aesthetic and music and stuff, and having a fantastic final boss. Metro for just being super fucking cool. Probably, like, the best looking level in the game, probably. Just having a lot of cool ideas, and they all flow well and just work. Route 99 for being, like, the least complicated driving level, and just, you know, it's still being, like, very cool conceptually and everything. Because in the story, it's, like, a shortcut to Sans, I think, so it's, like... That's why it's so fast, it's, like, a short... I think it's something like that. Mystic for just, like, its theme and just, like, how it executes everything. Skull is just, that's a really cool boss, like, one of the best looking levels. And the pad challenges are good, but I think, yeah, one too many. I feel like what probably should have been done is that Acid should have lost 2 tokens, and then Skull gains a couple more. And then you move the one of the pad challenges over to Acid. I feel like that would have been... Especially because, like, that, Patrick level with, like, the timing, the platforms, like, the buttons, that one's one of the harder ones, I feel like. So I feel like it could have been put later in the game, yeah, like in Acid. But, yeah. Actually, I don't know if I could be asked to just give a TLDR. I mean... If it's in B, then I think it's, like, good level. And then A is, like, very good, and then S is, like, great. So, yeah, this is the list. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time, like a boss.